Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Road to Adepticon 2014 with me, Mars, and we have a couple of special guests. Well, 3 special guests. Let's start off with our newest Malifaux producers for the WGC.
Hi!
That's Crissy and Chuck, husband and wife, both henchmen. And they will be joining us at WGC as the Malifaux producers, and also will be taking care of all the Facebook and social media stuff for the WGC. And our next special guest is Sean Shadowpal from Weird Miniatures.
Well,
sort of.
Chicago.
And also
officially.
Go ahead.
Officially, I'm not weird.
Yeah.
I'm another henchman.
Yep, yeah. And you will be the tournament organizer for all the Malifaux events in Adepticon 2014, right?
Yes.
Now,
all that good stuff.
It's official. You have a shirt on.
I do.
I still need to get my henchman t-shirt later on, but...
Me too.
Now, we're going to split the segment in 2 different parts. Basically, this whole entire series is circling around Malifaux at Adepticon, because Crissy and I will be at Adepticon. We'll be kind of covering about Malifaux most of the time. We're probably going to be at the Malifaux room more than any of the other WGC producers, but they will be coming in and out to record stuff with us. And also, Crissy and Chuck is going to be doing a podcast based off of Malifaux and her social media, A Weird Place. So before we go get to Sean, sorry Sean, we're gonna go introduce Crissy and Chuck and tell us a little bit more about the podcast and the social media group.
Well, the podcast is still very early beginning stages, so there's not a ton to talk about just yet. It will be all Malifaux for the most part. We might have a segment where we discuss other games, but it'll be 10% of the podcast. It is, Chung's helping us throw it together, so look forward to some kind of quirky, clever name, and a bunch of people talking game. Like, that's really what it is. It's going to touch on all the things that I feel like a lot of podcasts are missing right now. Advanced tactics and, building crews, but not just reading from, from the book or reading from the cards, which a lot of advanced Malifaux players don't need. And all the podcasts right now are really great because they're touching on all those things, which are great for the new people or the people that are new to 2nd edition. But I think there's a lot of stuff that's missing from podcasts right now that would appeal to experienced and tenured players. So I think that's really what I'm looking forward to most in the podcast, is talking about all the things that when I listen to a podcast, I'm like, gosh, I wish that they would just talk a little bit more about this one thing. That's my pet peeve, so that's what I want to do. But I'm excited to work with a bunch of funny people that all have a different, attitude about Malifaux or a different outlook on it, or how, they play different crews and factions. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, what would you be covering in that podcast, Chuck?
Probably the rules marshal of the group. Biggest pet peeve is rules being done wrong, being said wrong. I love the podcasts that are out there. I listen to most of them.
Right.
But my biggest pet peeve is when I hear a rule wrong, because it's a bad thing in general. Now people are hearing it and they think the rule is that way because they're thinking those guys know what they're talking about. So I want to make sure that that's always going to be the accurate assets. And advanced tactics. I miss a gamer's lounge and how in detail they used to go in Tactica. And so I definitely want some of that back. But we're definitely going to hit on the fluff and all the other things too. I want to make sure it's a fun podcast to listen to.
Yep, look forward for that. We haven't come out with a name. Well, you've already invited me to be in the podcast as probably the IT helper guy kind of thing. And most of the time, I don't really do tactics because I don't play competitively. I join tournaments, but I play to blow my stuff up.
You'll be our house painter too.
Yes, that's what I'm aiming to do.
Studio painter for our podcast.
Advanced tactics come from every game. Because the people that put the random things together in those random fluff games are where you find the random things that you're like, I would have never thought of that.
That's where you find the broken combos.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
broken combos.
It happens.
Exactly. He's gonna make sure I play the game right.
Now, can you introduce us a little bit about A Weird Place, the social media Facebook group?
Yeah, it's just
Your baby.
yeah, my baby, as I often refer to it. It's just crazy active and a great place to go if you want to talk about all things weird, all things Malifaux, and also just be completely silly and feel comfortable there. Like I think the biggest thing is that people share photos and everybody feels comfortable doing so. We giggle at each other. We post silly things like
The Lint Monster.
well, the Lint Monster I've mentioned before, but like Hungering Darkness with Googly Eyes. If you want a Hungering Darkness with Googly Eyes, you can go there. And then recently we partnered with the WGC, so we're going to be doing a lot more. So you have even more to look forward to at A Weird Place.
Like, for example, Califo.
Califo, yes. Yep, one of the events coming up that our first event, first annual Califo, partnering with WGC. So hoping to make this super huge, and
It's already super huge when the
I know.
first time we talked about this.
I know. Just kind of like it just ran off on its own.
You gonna fly out here for that, Sean?
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, if I didn't have Adepticon around the corner, I'd be out there. But
It's
June.
in
yeah,
June.
no, yeah. I mean, come on. What else am I doing?
You don't have a
No, I
wife.
mean, you guys. I don't have a wife or anything. I don't have cats in the house or anything that I need to take care of.
Drop all
Just a
things.
clearly empty. Yeah. No, my wife's trying to be quiet in the background. She's probably going to be snarling at me here.
Now, Califo will be set on June 7th and 8th of 2014. Yes, in Great Escape Games.
At Great Escape Games in Sacramento, we have 9,000 square feet of play space.
Mm-hmm.
So plenty of room for everybody.
And since we've upgraded the whole size of prize support and tournaments, basically we might even take that whole entire place instead of the 40k players.
Yeah, well, I have the large room reserved. It doesn't mean it's closed just for us, but we pretty much will be the majority of it. The Magic players have their own section. The RPG people have their own section, and they're completely closed off. So I don't think that it's going to affect anything. We're going to have a lot of space. We'll have plenty of room. I don't know what the cap size is going to be just yet. I was going to wait and see kind of how closer we got to the actual time.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell right now. We've only been planning for a week, so a few more weeks, maybe after Adepticon.
Yeah, but within that whole week that we planned stuff, a lot of stuff has already popped up. For example, the limited edition ski markers.
Yes. Thanks to you.
I'm building the trophy that's going to be like the Stanley Cup that we pass around whoever wins the North or the South. We call it Califo because it's going to be, it's open for everyone, but predominantly the South California is going to send some team up to North California for the first one. And maybe, I don't know yet. At least we're going to kick ass in painting. How about that?
When Doug watches this, he's
I
going to
don't know.
kill you.
He can kill me all he wants.
And I know that you're a competitive painter, right? Competitive player, Chuck. And you're getting excited about this because you're getting to meet a lot more people.
The sad thing is, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be working it, and I probably won't get to play.
No. I'm not going to have him work. He gets to play. I've got other people that can help if I had to. If he wants to help, he can. But if he wants to play, he also can. I want him to have the option. So, yeah.
I want this event to be good, and that's going to be my main priority.
Well, according to the prize list that we've already come up with, I can't give out a little bit, any more hint than this. We got Badger on board.
Yep.
We also get Andaya Laser Cutting that's supporting with some.
Yep.
And officially Weird is on board on this. They were gonna call this Weird Weekend or whatever, and they're actually sending some high official people to go and podcast, Twitter, giveaway, and all the other stuff.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so it is as big as we can get. Probably smaller than Adepticon because it's not spanning 4 days.
Right.
Now,
But you guys have Weird showing up, so... We've been trying to get that for 3 years. We got Nathan to show up once, and
You got
Mac
Mac?
always shows up as a player. He never shows up in an official sense, which is fine. We don't want to force him to be official, but
And by the end of the day, you find him drunk, walking around, stumbling, talking to random people.
I love Mac. I will always love Mac. I will love Mac at Adepticon every year, and I look forward to seeing him this year. And I just wish we could get some of the big honchos to step out and check out Chicago again.
It
To be
does.
fair-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay, I was gonna say, to be fair, Sean, they're really close to us.
Yeah.
I know.
It doesn't cost them anything, but pretty much like a half a tank of gas to get here. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's just convenient, because we're not very far. So
And Gen Con's such a biggie for them.
And Gen
Yeah,
Con is
so.
a big sales thing for them, but I
Yeah.
wish they would go to Adepticon too, because I know a lot of people wanted a booth, so that people can make purchases and get goodies while they're there. So maybe I'll try to put another bug in the ear. I'm sure you already have, but I'll try to send some messages saying, please, Adepticon, please.
Every email I send, yeah. I know they're busy. I know it's a bad time of year. I know there's all kinds of shenanigans going on.
They are sending price support though, right?
They have said price support. They haven't specified what yet. So I'm hoping we'll get some word on that soon, because I'm starting to sweat.
I'm guessing it'll be pretty good knowing that.
Yeah,
Hopefully-
they're-
No, they always come through. They're always fantastic. They've never disappointed. So
Hopefully, some of the new March models.
No,
that would be nice.
I don't want to not be able to get March models by not being there, so let's not.
I'll be there.
Someone's jealous.
I was going to say Chrissy's going to be taking the prizes, so she'll hook you up.
Oh no, prizes! I'm not winning anything. You're hilarious. I don't even have time to paint anything for Crystal Brush. Not that I'm even good enough to paint anything for Crystal Brush. But yeah, I'm
Well,
playing a story.
You've got your Colette costume ready, don't you?
Yeah,
We
right.
have a collect costume, I guess.
But we don't use it in public, huh?
Secret. Oh my gosh.
She's gonna Christmas hug
Yes, I'm gonna be hungry Jarvis with googly
There you
eyes.
go.
you. Everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Now, we had in every podcast that we ask everyone about gaming history, but since we already talked about Adepticon, we're just gonna skip that question. We're just gonna go straight to Adepticon. Let's go with Sean. So, Sean, this is your first year as main TO for Adepticon. How does that feel?
For Weird, yeah, I've done TO for Adepticon for a long time. Not main TO, but I've been working with the fantasy side of things, and I've volunteered with Adepticon since year one, and then I was an outrider for years before that. So organizing is nothing new to me. I've done that before. It's the first time where everybody's coming to me for answers, but yeah,
I'm
Dan.
one of them.
Yeah, no, I don't mind the questions. I love the questions. I'm glad I have questions. I'm glad it's not a dearth of players. But yeah, we've got a huge number of players this year, and Dan just needed a break from organizing. Dan Sulin is the one who has headed up Adepticon for the last 3 years, and he's done a fantastic job. I really haven't changed much other than updating things to M2E, which has been fun. But yeah, no, it's been going pretty smoothly. Just have tables to build. Always tables.
Did you help last year with the Malifaux stuff, or what were you doing last year to this?
I've been helping Malifaux since the first year that they did it.
So
that
you
was 4 years ago.
Stuff. This isn't new.
Yeah,
No.
me and Sean actually met last year, but I didn't know that he was, because I just heard Sean Shadowpow is going to be TO now, and once I see his picture, I'm like, oh, I talked to that guy.
I know that dude.
Now,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say most people have seen me floating around various conventions, but most people don't really put me together as Shadow Pal, Shadow Opal. So yeah, it's funny. I run into people going, "Oh, hey, I see you on the forums." It's like, "Oh, okay, great." I don't know how to react to that.
Do we get to see you again this year at Gen Con?
Yes, yeah, I'm definitely planning on Gen Con.
I wish I could go to Gen Con. But I heard that the Malifaux room is changed now.
Well, it's the same room, other than for the cake match. The cake match, we're going to be up on, I think, the 15th floor. But we haven't had access to the room early enough for the cake match to be more than one round.
Okay.
So this year we wanted to have more rounds, and the Adepticon staff were really cool. They got us this, I guess it's a suite or a ballroom or something up on the 15th floor or whatever floor it is, and so we have access from noon till midnight, which is great. And then as soon as we get access to our actual room, we'll start moving tables down there as people vacate them.
So,
and,
so on Thursday, people who wants to play Malifaux that's not in the cake match, they still have to go to the 15th floor first.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's where all the open gaming beginning of the convention is going to start. It's a blast, as anyone who's been there knows. We like to start it off on a really fun high note and get everybody all sugared up for the convention, and then turn them loose. Kind of like we do with kids when we're babysitting. It's like, yeah, have some Kool-Aid and then go home to mom. So
Yeah, eventually they'll burn out.
yeah.
Enough sugar for them to go for a while, and you're gonna have to feed them more sugar. So hopefully there's lots of cake left over.
Yeah. The reason I asked
There-
about the
there is-
oh, go ahead.
There's always cake left over. It's hysterical. We end up running through the halls just yelling free cake, and the 40K gamers come rushing by the hordes, and it's always a madness.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because Thursday, this is the first time that I'm going to be arriving on Thursday on time to actually get some game in. I won't be in the
Awesome.
cake match, but I think I've scheduled Wargamer Girl a game against Wargamer Girl on Thursday. That will be recorded, and it's going to be on that table that she donated a bunch of resin to you, right?
Wargamer Girl is awesome. I love that woman. She's been awesome to us. Yeah. I've told my story on a bunch of podcasts, but basically she's produced a Clockwork Tower and Obelisk resin terrain set, and I jumped in on the Kickstarter and I saw a message saying that she had some miscasts that were slowing down the shipping. So I asked her if she was going to do anything with them, and if not, if she'd like to dedicate them to Adepticon, and she sent me a 4.5-pound box of resin, which is doing a really nice job of pimping out the table. And
That's a lot of resin.
That's amazing.
yeah. No, I mean, I've been floored by the amount of support that we've gotten from various people. Wargamer Girls won, Knuckle Duster Miniatures. They donated 2 tables worth of terrain.
That's
and there's
pretty.
I'm still in the process of assembling it, but it's just so detailed and so awesome. And then we've got Urban Lasercraft is donating some tokens for various events. And then just, my local people who are donating tables, well, loaning tables, not donating, but loaning tables, because we've got 34 tables this year in a full room, so we aren't sharing with Adeptus Titanicus or Space Fleet or anything this year, so
Well,
it's all us, baby.
And I know Tim is working on 5 different tables. He's also another
Tim-
newest WGC member.
Tim is a machine.
he
Tim
wakes
is
up at like
cranking
3
out.
in the morning to build terrain before he goes to work. I'm not kidding.
He's-
He really does.
no,
I get
he's-
pictures at 3 in the morning. Well, it would be 3 in the morning his time, but yeah, like basically completed board, completed this. Take a
Yeah.
look at this. Like he is crazy busy.
He's a machine, and not only is he donating a ton of tables. How many tables is he donating? I've actually got my sheet
I
pulled
think
up.
it's 5 or something.
Yes.
It was 5 at last count, but I think he's going to do another one. I
Oh
think he's
my
actually
God.
bringing 6. I'm not going to say that as a for sure, but he's promised me 5, and I think he's already got that done.
Oh my.
Plus, he made a mold of some half timber walls that he's pouring hydrocal into, and he's going to give me those to throw as scatter terrain around other tables. And then Malifaux's Mike Marshall stepped up and backed the Adepticon Fate and Strategy deck.
Yep.
And Tim is doing the Crows and Resurrectionist drawings for that. So he's just been awesome.
Yeah, when somebody started posting up illustrations on a weird place, you know, the puzzle pieces is already there. I'm like, all right, I think this is gonna be the Fate deck.
Yeah, I couldn't say at the time because I didn't have the go-ahead from Weird, but yeah, it's official now. Yeah, we have a Fate deck and we have a Strategy Scheme deck, and it's all going to be in one nicely printed box.
So Malifaux already confirmed that the scheme and strategy is going to be done in time.
Yes.
Because from last time, from the podcast that I heard that you were talking, that they were still talking about it, and they might not be able to bring it to SmogCon, I think.
I don't think they're going to get it to SmogCon. I don't know when SmogCon is.
It already went past. So.
Yeah, no, they obviously couldn't get it there.
Yeah,
it'll be at Adepticon because I'm in the process of finishing up the cards now. It's going to print on Monday, and so we should have them in plenty of time to get them at Adepticon.
What are the cards going to be used for? Exactly, what are you giving them out as?
To Fate.
Everyone who participates in the main events will get one. So anyone who participates in the cake match, anybody who participates in the story encounter will get one deck, not for each event, but will get a deck. I have some people who are helping out who will get one, and then Mike will be taking home, I think, about 150 of them to throw out around the place. So if anyone's walking around Adepticon and needs a spare, you might want to talk to Mike Marshall, and maybe he'll put one in your hands.
Like Chuck meets Mike. Mike, Chuck.
I'll try to bring one back for my husband, I suppose.
I'm sure we can get Chuck a deck somehow.
That'd be great.
I'll
I'm
talk
trying to figure out if I can sell a kidney to get out there still.
He's like, it's not completely set in stone that I won't be there. And I'm going, I know what our bank account looks like, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And, I mean, Chung and Les is going to be road tripping. They are going to be driving, so there is that method.
Wow.
I didn't look at that.
Yeah, they are driving. I don't know, it's like, what, 30-hour drive or something?
How long?
30-hour one way?
Yeah.
Are they driving? They're driving, honestly, both ways.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to drive the Gen Con last year, actually, was one of my ideas.
Oh my god.
But all my people to carpool with bailed, so instead I bought a plane ticket.
Coming back from Adepticon last year, I already had like 3 days feeling like a zombie at work afterwards. And this is just being a player. I don't know how you gonna try to handle it as an organizer. And also, plus on top of that, if you're gonna try to drive 30 hours, no. That's at least a 2-week vacation right there.
Remember, this week alone, I've driven 60 plus hours. So
For work,
that's what
yeah.
I do.
Work is killing them.
Now, let's continue on with all the events that are available. I'm going to start with the Gaslight Achievement League. For those who doesn't know what it is, what is the Achievement League?
It's basically a way to inspire all levels of players, new, old, to participate in Malifaux games and get points for it. And you rack up points, and as you achieve various things, sometimes it's as simple as playing as all 7 factions. Sometimes it's as simple as playing the red Joker on a damage flip, playing the black Joker on a damage flip. We have all kinds of different goofy ones. My favorite would be buy one of the judges a drink. That one you can claim multiple times, so I'm just saying. It's a good way to score points. And so yeah, it's and then we give a prize out to the person who achieves the most points, and that's pretty much it. That's why it's cheap.
Yeah, so this is like an ongoing event for all three.
All weekend long.
All weekend
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, if you play games in your room at night, you can count it.
Okay. And as long as there's somebody to sign off, okay, I know that you get that, whatever, or
Right.
Yeah.
Take pictures of it, tweet it to me, and I'll sign your sheet in the morning.
it's like, I got a black Joker and a red Joker. Damn it! The second one, which is on Thursday, and this is unique to any other Adepticon event. This is the cake match that we mentioned. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, this is Dan Sulin's brainchild. He has a relative who's a baker, and so he's very into cakes. And he just thought it would be a fun way to start the convention. You play with a team of 3, and you have to bring enough cake to give to your opponent after the game is over. That was back when it was 1 round, so we obviously aren't going to make people bring multiple cakes, but people usually bring pretty large, elaborate cakes that are decorated in very unusual fashions. We had a graveyard, we had a giant teddy, we had a pig one year. It's just confectionery madness. And, unfortunately, being the main TO this year, I'm not even going to be able to judge the cake because I'm diabetic and it would kill me. So I think we're going to have... What's that?
Because I hear the judges, it comes with an insulin shot, right?
Well, I do have an insulin pump, and I could just max it out and potentially blow it up. But I think it's safer to just have my wife show up that night and judge the cake match. She enjoys cake, so we'll do that, or maybe I'll get some audience participation. But
You said the cake match. You kept telling people, "Don't worry, there's plenty of room," but it looks like it's sold out online, right? Is that correct?
that is a web cart issue. They have to assign a number of tickets, and the number of tickets are based on the number of tables. So we will not turn anyone away. As people leave, as people finish games, we'll throw people into games. So don't worry about it. Show up, have fun, hang out, have cake, meet people, laugh, talk. That's what it's all about.
I cleared out Necromunda by night on Thursday, and on Friday I'm clearing out a class that I'm supposed to be in the morning, so I could be in the Malifaux room a little bit longer.
Yay!
Sweet.
Now, the first main event for Malifaux in Adepticon is the Masters, and it is a 2-day event.
Well, actually, the first main event would be Friday, which is the team tournament.
The team tournament, okay. Let's go with that first.
Yeah.
How did the format change from last year?
Very little. We now have 35 stones per player as opposed to 70. And it's sole. You create a list and you have to stick with that list. So those are the main rules. But otherwise, for those who haven't played in a team tournament, both players I guess it varies in England and the UK. They play where both players on a team draw from the same deck and use the same hand. Mm-hmm. But at Adepticon, we have each player has their own deck and each player has their own hand to use. So your teammates' models are considered allied, not friendly. So for people who are playing Jacob, you don't have to worry about not being able to use his uber cool kill 'em all ability, waiting for everybody to activate. So. And the way initiative is handled is you flip for initiative as usual. Whoever wins initiative chooses which side's going to go first. That side is given the 1 number and the 3 number, and the side that is not going first gets the 2 number and the 4 number, and then you alternate back and forth 1, 2, 3, 4.
The team tournament, have you, in general, have anyone found any broken combos? Because last year the Resurrectionists went with a bunch of zombie horde.
Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. The really unfortunate thing about me heading up Adepticon is that I really haven't had very many M2E game experiences because I've been so busy. So I'm kind of relying on my team of play testers who are local henchmen in the area, and they helped write a lot of the rules for past years, and so I trust their judgments on things, and they've been running events and they've been saying that things are running pretty smoothly. There will always be Uber combos out there for people to find, and there's not really much you can do about that. Basically, Adepticon, the way I view Adepticon is that Adepticon is there to challenge the way you play your games. We like to have you play different events. We have tables that have interior spaces, you know, which a lot of people frown on. But that's what I feel it's there for. I feel it's there to make you play differently and have a good time doing it.
What do you mean by interior spaces?
Well, like sewers. Where it's not like this big open space with terrain placed in it. It's like it's an actual building or an actual interior space.
I can't believe people would actually expect that. That's weird.
Well, it's iffy. I understand. My one question I would ask about the team tournament is, can you play same masters on your team? Is the rare limit changed? How does that work?
Unique's rares are unique is on a side level, so if a model is unique, you can only have one on it per side. So no Santiago Santana shenanigans. And what was the other question? Oh, masters. Yeah, no, you have to play different masters. Same faction, different masters.
Good. Double Jacob sounded scary.
I don't know. I think Double Will is kind of sounds scary too, but like, yeah, that could be scary.
Okay.
And then the next main event, this is the one that I'm kind of excited about, is the Masters. This is like the ultimate test for a single player.
Yeah. And it's going to be pretty hardcore this year. One of the Michigans are. Last year it was single elimination, and it's always been single elimination. But Dan and I were talking after last year, and we saw a lot of people drifting on Sunday because they had gotten eliminated. So we want to keep people locked in the Malifaux room. You know, we want to turn the key and not let them out. So we got rid of the single elimination. Everybody will be playing all 6 rounds. So it's going to be pretty hardcore, and I think we will have a definite master this year. It won't be close. You know, I think there's going to be one person who definitely has the points to say, yes, I am the master of Malifaux. I know we have 75 individuals registered for Malifaux events this year.
Wow.
So, nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you know what the number was last year?
I'm sure I could have that if I were.
I'm just curious, like how much.
No, I don't have that right now. Yeah, no. At this time, I don't think there were that many, because we still had a lot of tickets left, and we really don't have a lot of tickets left this year. A lot of things, two of the events have sold out already.
A lot of things sold out really fast.
Yeah, I freaked out when I thought the story encounter thing was sold out. I was like, oh god, there's only 2 left. I gotta get my ticket like now. Everybody got a panic text, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go into that when we get into the story encounters.
Well, we are gonna go into the story encounter. It's also a little bit different this year because you are going to let people play 1.5 and M2E at the same time.
It's actually 2 separate events.
Okay.
We had to break up the tickets in the web cart just because it made life easier for the Adepticon staff, and anything I can do to make life easier for the Adepticon staff because they're awesome. So there is a 1.5 event and there's a 2.0 event, and if you have a ticket for a 2.0 event, you can decide at the registration table, you know what, I screwed up, I want to play 1.5, and we'll let you play 1.5. So there are still tickets left for the 1.5 event, so if you didn't get a ticket for the 2.0 event and you want to get into it, just buy a 1.5 event and we'll let you play 2.0.
Okay. And when is your deadline to actually turn in the story encounter? Because we still haven't seen the actual scenario yet.
I actually turned that in. I don't know if I should check and see if they put that up yet.
Because I went
Go
to
on
check
with your
yesterday.
next question and I'll see.
Yeah, because yesterday I checked it to see the rules. The rules is already up, but the story encounter wasn't up yet.
Well, and there will be some slight modifications to the rules because Gaining Ground came out after I made those rules. So I wanted to try and tie them as close to Gaining Ground as possible. Nothing major, just formatting, a little change. So yeah, the scenarios are not up yet, so hopefully they will be up within the next week or so.
And then the size is also smaller, 35 soulstones. So I guess you're aiming for maybe like a starter set kind of thing, or?
Right.
Okay. And how does because for all the events they also have best appearance, meaning best big painted crew, but for story encounter you're just faction locked. So how is the best painted gonna work with that?
You will choose either. I'm going to put a sheet out for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Every number will have a sheet, and you will put out whatever miniatures you want to put out there. If you want to put out a solo model, if you want to put out a crew, whatever.
Okay, that goes the same, I guess, with masters because it is just faction locked, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's for all of them. There will be a sheet out there. You can put out as many models as you want. Some people will have an advantage if they put a crew out because the crew kind of ties the theme together and gives everybody an idea as to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you spent all of your time painting up one model and just didn't get to the rest of them in the same level, go ahead and put that one model out, and we'll judge you based on that.
Okay.
All models do need to be painted, though.
Yes,
So,
3-color minimum, right?
yes.
He's looking at you.
I know.
I'm looking at you, Chris.
I know. Gosh, my models are painted. I don't bring unpainted
No,
models.
I know. No, I know.
But I know there's a lot of controversy over this topic. It's a very heated topic. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually glaring at the weird place people.
Yeah, I know, and I represent them, so I feel I feel the glare.
That stare should be totally the thumbnail for the YouTube video.
Do you need me to hold it longer?
I can screenshot it. Yes, I got it.
So, Sean, the story count is the only thing we're doing with a 1.5, it looks like. Did you just want to have some 1.5 there in case people did want to play it? Did you have people express an interest in the 1.5? What thought that as a lingering effect, kind of?
Yeah,
This is a touchy subject, isn't it?
I've gone over this in a lot of the podcasts, but basically Chicago has a very strong voice, and a lot of the organizers of Adepticon have a very strong voice for 1.5. And when Dan said that he wasn't going to be heading up Adepticon, around Gen Con, people started coming up to both Dan and myself and saying, we want a 1.5 event. Are you going to have a 1.5 event? Because if you're not, we're not coming. And so we said, Dan and I talked about it, and he agreed to head up the 1.5 event as his only thing that he would be running for Adepticon. And I said, if you want to do that, that's fine. I was not going to be able to keep two rule systems straight in my head, so I just said, forget it. I'm not doing a 1.5. But Dan, I enjoy 1.5. I play 1.5. But for a tournament, it was too thought intensive, and I don't have the brain capacity. So Dan said that he would do the 1.5 event. So I'm like, okay, sure. If you want to do that, fantastic. So there was a big clamoring and not a lot of ticket sales, Mr. 1.5 people.
That's what I was wondering, actually. That was going to be my next question, is how did sales go with that?
Yeah, well, I think the dual event is really kind of throwing a monkey wrench into things, so I'm not sure how many people are actually registered for 1.5 and how many are registered for 2. We won't know that until we get to Adepticon. But if the ticket sales are indicative of the interest in 1.5, there just isn't much. And what do I have here? 1.5 story encounter. I have 8 tickets sold.
Right.
Wow.
So it's like I said, I don't know if some 1.5 people bought 2.0 tickets and are planning on switching at the table.
I bought a 1.5 and I'm switching.
Oh, so make that 7.
So we have 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually emailed Adepticon to say, hey, can you switch it out and say, oh, they'll take care of
Yeah,
it.
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we'll take care of everybody. Malifaux's cool. I'm cool. We'll make everybody happy. Don't worry about it.
You're cool, you're cool, you're cool.
Hey.
Now, any mishaps that happened last year? Any troubles?
Only alcohol related.
Does that have something to do with the Achievement League?
I don't really remember anything with the Achievement League, but maybe. All I know is that there was one person who was just so hammered that he honestly couldn't even shuffle his deck. You know, his opponent was shuffling his deck half the time. Yeah,
Wow.
it was comedy in motion, and the funny thing was just that he won the game. I felt bad for the
Oh my
opponent. It's like,
God.
dude, seriously, you can't even win a game against a hammered opponent. That's bad. You know? So yeah, no, I don't think there were very many troubles. We always have like one issue. So. But for the most part, things run themselves pretty smoothly, and the Malifaux community is really kind of awesome in that way. You know, they don't really get too worked up. I mean, there are always the odd people that do, but for the most part, Malifaux players are just kind of mellow, and that's why I like them.
And you usually have like about 5 to 6 henchmen at least to help you organize that whole entire group.
Yeah, big burly bruisers to help me bounce them. You know. Got my Mr. Tan in for this year. Yeah, it's all gonna be fine.
Well, compared to me, everyone is pretty huge, so.
Well, I say that as a 250-pound fat guy, you know. So.
Hey, let's not throw that out there.
That is all the questions from me so far. Crissy and Chuck, do you have any more questions to Sean?
I don't really have any questions. I was going to tell you that at LVO, Mac decided that any ruling that was against me was automatically a no. So if you want to do the same that Mac is, he's a player, I condone that message.
He basically was just being funny, saying, if Chuck is going to ask, the answer is no. So, just to be funny, but
Feel free to do it back to him.
yeah. I don't have any questions. Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
I don't think Mac is registered for anything. I'll have to look.
What?
I think he plays other things.
Yeah, he might.
He does
Yeah.
play other things.
Yeah, I think he does.
That
We need to talk to him about that.
Some game with a stupid eagle logo or
I
something.
know. I'm gonna have to.
Eagle logo. Double-headed eagle.
Well, see, I wasn't going to throw that much out there.
It was very big. God, that's not right. We're gonna have to send Mac a message and tell him to play. I don't have any questions. I feel like you covered everything, and I have listened to your podcast, so I have heard all the other details and stuff that we didn't cover here. But I look forward to playing in all of your events. I think it's going to be a great time, and I promise I won't be that drunk person at Adepticon ruining the game.
If you're gonna be that person,
Now, I was looking forward to that. I was hoping you would be the drunk person.
Okay, I'll have some drinks, but I won't be that guy.
I'd be like, I don't know this blue-haired chick. Who is she?
The difference is if she gets drunk enough where she can't shuffle her cards, she won't win that game.
I won't win.
promise.
No, it was bad.
Well, if
Go ahead.
if I see her getting to that point, I'll call Mario over and make sure that he's got the camera rolling for one of his podcasts.
That could be arranged. That is YouTube gold, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The one thing I would like to talk a little bit about is proxies. I try to do this on all
forgot
the
to ask about
podcasts
that.
that I get on. Just because it is fairly controversial, Adepticon this year, because Adepticon normally does not allow proxies, but because of the M2E changes, they've given us a stay of absence, whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, we are allowing proxies. The obvious thing is if there is a miniature in existence, we would prefer that you use that miniature. If there is not a miniature, then you may proxy it. You have to send all proxy photos to me at least a week before the convention. And my email address is adepticonshawn, that's spelled SEAN, @gmail.com. And
I'll have that link down below.
obviously, cool. Obviously, the earlier you get me a photo, the better chance we'll have to work it to a point where it makes sense. But if it's one of those, my general rule is that if you put a model in front of me and I don't have to ask you what it is, it's probably going to pass. If it's something where you have to explain it to me, then we may have to work something out. But I'm not in the habit of just denying people outright without offering some options. So get them to me early so I can give you some options if you need them.
And again, that email is adepticonshawn@gmail.com, right?
Yes.
Right. So we are going towards the end of the show. Usually the Road to Adepticon series, or usually my videos are not an hour long unless I'm doing the Sunshine and Moonbeam show. But this has been close to an hour, which is really perfect timing because I've never hosted a show that's going to an hour that stops exactly at 1 hour. Usually it goes either 2 hours or like 30 minutes.
And stop.
Yep. Thank you for coming to agree to actually show up on Voices of Mars show, Road to Adepticon 2014. Thanks again for Crissy and Chuck to be here. Really would love to see you guys a little bit more often, but I will definitely shoot a lot of Malifaux video at Adepticon, and maybe Sean is going to be featured again if he has some time, or when he's not belligerent and drunk. Hopefully not.
I don't think Sean drinks, right, Sean?
You don't know that yet.
I think I heard him say something.
Sean doesn't drink. Sean had a bad hospital encounter with alcohol.
And you can't drink sugar too, so alright, lots of water.
Sean drinks diet soda.
Right.
Oh.
I remember hearing you say
Yeah,
that.
Sean drinks diet soda, and Sean drinks a sugar-free Monster Energy drink.
Wait, how does that work? Sugar-free?
She does pay attention.
I do. See? I'm a stalker. Watch it.
Yeah, they have a low-carb one, and that's sugar-free.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah, I drink sugar-free Rockstar, so I don't drink any sugary stuff.
Because I thought it was just the amount of sugar that kicks in that makes you energized.
No.
It's all the other stuff that's not good for you.
Well, I could actually go into that if you want, but it's really not that interesting.
Yeah, we're derailing. Anyways, thank you guys for coming to the show. Thank you for watching. I know.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I know it's been like a long shooting for us over here for Road to Adepticon series. So thanks again for staying in, and we'll see you guys at Adepticon. Bye.
Yay! Somebody help me!